Crawley just liked some tweets that hint at another reason for her early exit from The Bachelorette. Hey guys, welcome back to another shared news from home. ABC recently uploaded a new promo to Twitter and the comment section got seriously interesting. But before we get into it, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future updates. As always, I'm your host Fiona Zaring and I'm joined by the wonderful Avery Grooms.
Hi Fiona.
Hello, are you ready for another new episode of The Bachelorette this week?
Yes, I am so ready. At this point in time, I feel like I just could not be more ready for the next episode.
Oh my gosh, I totally agree. It feels like this week we're finally going to get some answers. We're finally going to get some real drama. But we could talk about that all day. I want to dive right in to this new promo because we're getting much closer to the final reveal of what Chris Harrison says will be the biggest twist in Bachelorette history. Let's start with the actual clip, which sort of answers that question of how Clare and Dale sneak away from the rest of the guys, which they've been teasing in past promos. Let's take a look.
If I can speak with Clare first, even if it's for 5 minutes, I would greatly appreciate that.
Let's go. So obviously, I mean, Dale really asserted himself, put the guys kind of in a weird position. He asked so politely, what were they supposed to do? Of course he got to sweep her away, but it seems like he had a bit of an ulterior motive because as we all know, it was not 5 minutes. What are your thoughts on his approach, Avery?
I was just going to say that was a really nice, considerate approach, but I just don't think they were gone for only 5 minutes.
If it was clearly the longest feeling 5 minutes ever. Let's watch the guys just sort of awkwardly waiting for their return.
Oh, man. I mean, should we send out a search party for Dale? I don't know.
Should we send out a search party? So obviously some very interesting vibes going on this couch. You can see them starting to sip their beverages. They're getting tenser by the second. What would be going through your head if you were in their shoes? I feel like the writing is starting to kind of be on the wall about Clare and Dale.
I think they're all maybe starting to panic. They're just kind of awkwardly sitting there with their drinks in their hand, like, what's going on? What's going to happen next? So that's what we'll see in the next clip. But I mean, I would kind of be freaking out just because at that point in time, it is so clear that Dale is a front runner and he's taking up all this time away from everyone. And now it's just almost too obvious.
So I don't know if Easy volunteered as tribute or was forced into it, but either way, he was tasked with going to knock on the door and fetch Clare and Dale, sort of interrupt whatever was going on. Very bold move. Let's take a look.
Oh, is there a knock on the door?
Oh, let me go hide in the closet.
Hide in the closet and stay in the closet.
So, Avery, my kind of reaction to that, I want to root for love. I want to root for Clare to be happy, but it feels like they've been caught. They're laughing about being caught. Like, it kind of just feels like this whole thing was a little unfair. What are your thoughts? What did you think?
It seems pretty unfair at this point, especially when someone has to go knock on the door and see what's going on after he said they'll be gone for only 5 minutes. Obviously, all the guys know they're up to something. I wonder how Easy became the one who had to knock on the door, but that definitely means they're in some type of trouble, and I think everyone in this situation knows it.
Totally. Well, I'm glad they released this clip. It seems like, I mean, just based on these little tidbits alone, it seems like this week's episode is going to be crazy. I think things are going to hit the fan. We're hopefully going to walk away with it feeling like we have some more answers. And aside from that clip itself, what happened in the comment section of this clip on Twitter was also pretty wild. Let's start breaking that down as well.
Twitter user Mary2 replied to the video post with the following comment. I think they were trying to force her out on some real. It was reported that she quit 12 days after filming and she locked herself in the room and wouldn't come out. which was hard to believe considering how bad she wanted it. And out of nowhere, Clare Crawley herself joined in to like her comment. What do you think about Clare joining in and liking this, Fiona?
You know, I honestly think it is such a bold move. We all know they signed some crazy contracts. Like, this was Clare. There's no way Clare, sitting at home, whether it was her phone or her computer, liked this tweet and didn't know that it was going to be a national news story, right? So this was some like low-key shady behavior that she knew was going to hit the spotlight. So I have to say, I think it really, really is telling. Her finger didn't slip. This was intentional. She's clearly trying to, emphasize at least some part of this tweet as being correct. And I think that the part, to me, the least shady of it all would be like, given how badly Clare really wanted to be there, it seems strange that she would have locked herself in her room and stopped participating. So perhaps she was just emphasizing that and not emphasizing that they were trying to push her out. But I think there is a lot to read into here, a lot of possibilities, and a very bold move. What were your thoughts?
Yes. Well, it did not end there. The Twitter user actually followed with the following replies. She responded and said they had Tayshia quarantined 9 days after Clare started filming. They wanted to remove Clare, and I just don't think it's fair. She also went on to say, and I really feel like they are giving her a bad edit. Just my opinion. They are feeding into the narrative and rumors and making it seem like it was Clare's decision that this ended, and I feel like that's not the case. Yes, and by the way, Clare also liked some of these other tweets as well. So what's really going on here? I think you made a good point, Fiona. She would only go back and like information like this if it was somewhat true. And I think that's what she's trying to do here, just kind of justify her case. But do we think the producers did Clare dirty, or is it just going to be a part of the whole production?
I'm not sure I can judge that the best. I feel like you actually might have a more interesting take on this, because I haven't watched any of like Clare's previous seasons except for those really iconic like Juan Pablo moments and engagement moments. So I'm not sure if this seems like her personality that people have known for a long time, or if it seems like they're kind of cutting her in a way that's showing another side. I have to say the moment that kind of comes to my mind is last week when, there was that awkward sort of pause in their group date after like the evening portion of their group date when no one really made a move. And her reaction, at least to me, seemed really extreme. And I don't know if they cut that moment. So to us, it looked like a cool, 15 seconds that was really blown out of proportion, or if it was way worse. So, there are certain things that have seemed a little odd to me, but I feel like you know Clare better. What do you think? Does this feel like the Clare we know, or does this feel like a really nasty edit?
To me, it seems like the Clare we know, especially the old Clare. I mean, she is known for being outspoken, but also very dramatic. So, like you just said, that one instance where she was like, does no one want to talk to me? Like, that seemed just so hyped up and almost way too dramatic for the situation. So I think that one is Clare, but also producers just playing on that as well. And then the same Twitter user ended it all with these last few comments. Production knows exactly what they're doing. They have never had a lead just quit. With how excited and how bad Clare wanted this, I doubt it. They were ready with a backup as soon as they found out that Clare was into Dale, and it was a wrap. Don't you see how the last 2 episodes have been produced? There's no drama, and the drama that they've shown has been dramatized and fixated to make Clare look a certain type of way. Check out Reality Steve for more info. Production has control over literally everything. They know what they're doing. And I agree that production does have control over everything. They know what they're doing. But like we said, they're also playing off of Clare being extremely dramatic too. So obviously Clare found Dale. She's going to leave with him. They had to figure out a whole following situation for that. But at the same time, Clare is extremely extra, and regardless if Tayshia was coming in or not, maybe she would still do this. We won't ever really know, probably, but it's just, I'm not surprised that this is all happening while Clare specifically is the Bachelorette.
No, that's a really interesting take. And I mean, I think that, listen, the Bachelor producers are like evil sorcerers. They know what they're doing. They're very smart. I love a good producer moment. Like, there are certain things where the only dot you can connect is, well, obviously a producer helped them get there. Some of the best drama is created that way. And is it necessarily fair? Is it warm and fuzzy? Of course not. But I think that there is something to be said about, you can't love to watch this show, love to engage in the drama, and then be like, how dare the producers create like, that's just, to me, that's silly. We're all watching for the drama. You go on the show, you know, you're going to get messed with to a degree. I think that's part of the territory. I do think, though, it would be extremely shady if this narrative that producers had Tayshia on set before Clare had even, you know, finalized anything with Dale, that Tayshia was ready and waiting in the wings before, you know, Clare organically got to a place where she felt it would end early. That, to me, is super dark. Playing devil's advocate, like trying to create a world in my head where it would make sense for them to do something like that. I could see a closed door meeting where they said, listen, we're not going to get to travel the world. We're not going to get to do a lot of extravagant dates in public. You know, we're going to have a very short leash of what we can do to create spectacle and like awe this season. So what if we do 2 bachelorettes? What if we try to cram something in early? You know, what if people loved Tayshia? What if we give them 2 people they like? That to me like seems like something they may have discussed. But again, it feels pretty dark. I don't know, even for them, it just feels like a lot of setup, a lot of headaches. And obviously, they didn't do a great job controlling it because we all knew about a second Bachelorette for months before the show aired. So I don't know, just trying to play all sides. There's also the possibility, I mean, listen, I think one of the things that really does stand out to me in this Twitter thread was something that I could see Clare agreeing with is, I don't think it was as simple as, I don't want to do this anymore, I quit. So that's a rumor that's been circling for a long time. And I think it's obvious to viewers that it's going to be more complicated than that. So I think it's possible, you know, that maybe Clare is trying to push back in whatever way she can to retake control of that narrative at the very least. Do you think that could be why she liked these tweets, Avery?
I think so. I think that's a really great point, that she would just want to take back control of this narrative, because at the end of the day, it all kind of gets thrown on her, whether, oh, Clare quit, or was this a setup? I think it's a little bit of both, as we've talked about. The show probably saw a great opening for Tayshia, who had a lot of popularity, like a lot of fans. Everyone was rooting for Tayshia. And during the whole Black Lives Matter and ABC was getting in trouble for just lack of diversity, they probably saw that as a great opening to put Tayshia on and give their viewers everything what they want, while at the same time playing off on Clare's narrative as well.
100%. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, those producers at ABC have some of the craziest behind the scenes secrets that on one level, I think we all want all the tea. I would love for like a play-by-play. I want their blueprint for the season. I want to know it all. And at the same time, I want to be totally in the dark so we can just watch week to week and have so much fun speculating, as we always will do. But you guys, we want to know your thoughts. Were you shocked to see Clare liking these tweets? Do you think it affirms, you know, do you think her like means that everything in these tweets she was agreeing with? Do you feel like it was certain parts? Are you shocked by these promos? Let us know all your thoughts and feelings down in the comments. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring. You can follow me on socials at Fiona Zaring. And Avery, where can they find you?
At Avery Grooms.
Amazing. Thanks for watching, you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.